Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome back to Voice of Youth, and this is our final episode for 2020. So it's only right that we do an episode looking back at the year and also looking forward to what's to come, because this year has been one hell of a year. So today we have two guests joining us, Updesh Kaur and Aman Kaur. So let's get them onto the show now. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Another time, so often people just wave when so no, we are very Sikhi based here, and I'm saying that with sarcasm in my voice because we do try to keep things lighthearted as a blend of everything going on. So how are you two doing? 2020, we're a bit over a week away from the end of the year. It's insane, isn't it?
It feels like we've blinked and nothing's happened and we're at the end of the year.
Yeah. Does not feel like a whole year has passed.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like I'm still in March, honestly.
It does. It kind of just paused there and then we've just existed for a while and now it's September and we're finally kind of restarting life. So it's interesting.
That's the thing I found weird. Obviously the big thing that happened this year was the whole COVID lockdown, and at the time of recording this, New South Wales is getting a few more cases and everything's happening there again. So to any of our viewers out there, hopefully you're staying safe, keeping busy, and everything's all well and fine with you. But the thing that when I look back at 2020 and I think about the lockdown, I think that the time frame of how time felt during that lockdown was almost really good, because for the most part it was such a good balance of time's going really fast or time's going really slow, but I felt like I got stuff done, if that makes sense. Yeah. But then when in reality, not real life, but when you're out of isolation, since we've started opening up and I've been going back out and doing uni and going out and stuff like that, I just feel like, oh wait, time's going so quickly again. Do you guys feel like that?
Definitely. I think because during COVID, any time outside of either work or, study commitments, it was pretty much you had that to yourself solely. And there was no, you didn't have to make an excuse to have that time for yourself because it was kind of forced upon us in a way. So we were able to utilize it, or hopefully utilize it, doing things that we wanted to do, catch up on life stuff that we wanted to do. Or for you, you might have made more content or, done more creative stuff and done it more freely without having that, events and all of that stuff happening. And I think personally, I did notice that we were given kind of an opportunity almost, if we were blessed enough to just to be able to be more introspective, focus on ourselves and utilize the extra time we've been given. And definitely since we've restarted, the weeks have restarted and going back out, the weeks have gone much faster.
Yeah.
You feel the same?
It's for me, because when lockdown first started, it was at the end of the semester, nearing the end of the semester. And so when we initially went into it, there was we had holidays and obviously I wasn't working. So I had all of that free time. So for me, it felt like I got a lot of things done and I'd planned things and I did stuff that I never really would have done otherwise. But then when uni started back up again, things started to get a lot busier. It felt as though things went by quite quickly, and then even more so when we opened up again.
Yeah.
I don't know. How long has it been since we last opened, when we opened?
I think we opened early November or something.
Yeah, roughly around then.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like it's been that long.
Over a month.
Yeah. See, for me as well, because with uni, because we stopped everything apart from one subject, we did so many subjects. We crammed it all in to about that 2-3 week period.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was such a rush, and now that it's done, it just feels so weird. That's one thing. Look, all things considered, I'm pretty happy with if we take a look back at 2020, I'm really happy with the things I've learned, because I feel like I've grown a lot thanks to COVID. At the same time, I had opportunities to make stuff that I never could make before. As a filmmaker, I could make stuff at home, and then I still got an education out of everything. So I still learned something, which was the big main thing. So that's my big one takeaway, is that I felt like I've grown and learned a bunch of new skills and new things related to my education. So Do either of you have anything that you have like one big takeaway from 2020?
I think similar, but like just in different aspects where, you know, transitioning to working from home for me was a huge lesson in the sense of like how much work-life balance is important. Like I didn't realize how much of an impact working from home has in terms of being able to, you know, save up time to do those activities where normally, you know, you're spending an hour in traffic trying to get home. You're able to instead go out for a walk or, you know, have a much more open evening than you normally would, or, you know, longer mornings to just, you know, do things other than just getting ready and going to work. And I think that was a huge realization. And I think for a lot of people throughout any industry, that was people that started working from home, that was a huge, I guess for businesses really, like a huge lesson that people can work from home, they are productive from home, and that fear that they initially may have had of, you know, sending 100% of their workforce like online and virtual didn't really need to be there. Like people are still productive at home, and I think that was a positive in this year for me personally.
Yeah, something to learn and something new, a new way to go to work in a sense.
Yeah.
How about you, Pat? Updesh?
Yeah.
I think for myself, as much as there were a lot of things that I did physically, or like activities that I did, I think the longer I spent in isolate or like in lockdown, the longer I had to kind of look inwards and kind of review my relationship with myself, if that makes sense, and kind of work on things like how I see myself, how I want my life to be going forward, and how I can actively impact that. And I think that was definitely, wasn't easy and it wasn't all fun, but I think it was something that I definitely gained this year, is like a better relationship with myself, and I can read myself better, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because while you're talking about like you know, benefiting oneself and stuff, the both of you are in Kirtan. We've talked about this organization before. I think that was in this season as well, like because we've had 2 seasons of Voice of Youth, which is really weird. We had an 8 episode run, and then when I had a short break, I came back and then planned all these episodes out, and here we are, you know, finishing off not the season 2, but 2020 at least. And in one of these episodes, we had Chetna. You guys came on. We did a crossover with your Child with Chetna, you know, program. Yeah. So how's Chetna been since then?
Do you want me to say something?
I don't mind.
Okay. I mean, I feel like Kirtan has been going well. Like there are a lot of things that obviously we've had to postpone or change around because we weren't able to do them in person. But there are a lot of things that have come from it, like that we might not necessarily have thought about. I guess like in terms of posting and stuff, maybe we've lessened a little bit, but then we've kind of been working on other things in the background as well that'll be coming out in 2021.
I mean, to add on to that, it also I guess kind of changed the narrative a little bit about the content that we did release, because because of COVID and the situations that we were, you know, all facing, we realized things such as, you know, elders within our community, how are they coping? Maybe that was something that we might not have thought about initially. So I guess, you know, all positives from the experience, I think, for Kirtana, and just more learning, like we've learned more lessons about how we want to proceed in the future and how we want 2021 to look like. And that's something we're certainly working on, and hoping for great progress next year.
The one thing I remember most from Kirtana is like the videos you guys made on productive and unproductive responses. Or was it helpful or unhelpful?
Unhelpful, yeah.
Yeah, because that was very entertaining, the short skits and stuff like that. Or you guys, I've also listened to some of the Sukri stuff you guys have been doing, which is really good. And you guys, have you had your final Child with Kirtana for the year?
We filmed it, but it's not out yet.
Oh, no, so it'll be out end of December as well.
Yeah.
Sweet. So, I mean, you also touched on this as well. Looking forward to 2021. You know, another year has passed. You know, Man, I always go back to the fact that time is just moving so quickly. Just you don't feel it happen. But then, yeah, 2021 is coming. What do you two have planned? Like, what's one thing you hope to achieve in 2021? What's one thing you hope to achieve? Obviously, we're gonna hope that we get to a really normal type of society. People hate using that word, a normal type. We live in I don't know how to word it, but then like a COVID normal kind of thing going on. Like when I went out last week when everything started opening, I used to go to restaurants. Went to Federation Square and saw some of the restaurants that are on the side there at the river and stuff, and they were packed full of people. Everyone. It was like the city was alive again, and seeing like people walking around, seeing the Christmas tree, the lights, and all these other things that were set up there. It was really, really nice to see, and I think it just had an even bigger impact because it's been so long since something like that happened. So hopefully more things like that will continue to happen into 2021, and that's one thing I hope for, and obviously look forward to just continuing on and hopefully carrying on with each of these skills that I've developed in isolation, trying to push through and keep them going on. So that's my 2 cents about that. What about the two of you? Updesh, do you want to go first this time?
Yeah. So what's the question?
What's something you look forward to in 2021?
Okay. What am I looking forward to in 2021? I guess just like being able to kind of continue going back to some kind of COVID normal. Like you said, we probably won't get back to complete normal life anytime soon, but just to continue on that path and being able to kind of have the option to go out, meet with friends, family, just do things that you would normally want to do. And I guess maybe I'm looking forward to going back to uni in person. As much as, sometimes when you're on the train, you're like, oh, I can't be bothered. But like when you've spent 6 months not going to class, I don't know, you kind of miss it. And like, I just can't wait to be back on campus and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah.
How about you, Aman?
Yeah, I mean, similar. I think like same as you guys, I want, COVID normal to keep happening. I don't want it to go back to a strict lockdown because I think we're finally transitioning back into a normal reality. And I think just to like appreciate our normal realities that we had prior to COVID happening and being able to, experience those things and be more present and more grateful of those. Doing that more in 2021, I think is going to be important for me personally, but also, taking with me the lessons from the lockdown period, that time that I had with myself and understanding that that is important and recognizing how important it is for all of us. And I guess also just reflecting and looking forward. I know that this year's obviously been such a tough year for a lot of people. I think us three, we talk from a very privileged position because we have been, pretty comfortable throughout the year, but there's obviously a lot of people that have really struggled financially with their jobs. And I hope that 2021 brings back a lot of that for people that have lost a lot of things, and we build up community back to normal again as well. Yeah.
That's the great thing. Like not the financial struggle part, but that things. I feel so great not wearing a mask when I have to go outside now. Like obviously on public transport and certain locations I do, but the day where I don't have to wear one, like just in general, will be so great. Like I'm kind of happy that I have to wear one at work, because what the problem is when I like tie my beard and stuff, like I don't really have to, but I do. And when I like it, sometimes it can get a little like sprinkly. I don't know what to describe it as. And then the mask just makes it easier to cover it up and all that kind of stuff. So that's one thing that I'm not looking forward to. But when it happens. And then speaking of ending 2020, I think, unless you guys have something to say after this, we could end it on this positive note, is that there is a Samagam happening. Several Samagams happening actually at the end of 2020 in Melbourne, at least. I know Brisbane's had one. We've talked about that previously on the show, but then we had one episode where we talked about the chances of Shepparton Samagam happening, and that's happening, as well as one, I think, do you know where the second one is, Updesh, Brenna?
It's happening in Keysborough.
In Keysborough, yeah. So we've got several
on the same
smuggling
dates. Yeah.
same dates. Was there a special program, I think, yesterday as well for the Sajjad? Yeah, Craigiman Gurdwara. So it's good to see these things happening again, and it's a real positive thing. We talked about it early on in this season. What are the chances of it happening? It's happening. We have samagams happening, programs happening. People can go to the Gurdwara again. Obviously, there are limitations, and that's expected in these early stages of easing the lockdown. But it's really good to see that. And what are your two thoughts on I could see you guys are clearly happy for this happening. Anyone want to share any thoughts?
I think it's really positive, like the signs that we're able to now finally start going back to Gurdwara properly, attending samagams, and I think that's a really positive for our community to come back together and be able to share those spaces. So let's hope we keep projecting this way, and 2021 will be a great year ahead then. Yeah,
I'm really excited because to be back in Sangat again, and just being surrounded and having that energy surrounding you as well. I think like in person it's a totally different experience.
Definitely.
Yeah, it is very different. 2020 almost done. I'm a little sad as well just because it's another year gone, but then 2021 hopefully it's different. I've seen a lot of the jokes about the demo is over or trial over or something, or round sort of zombie sound effects from COD comes on. Anyone who plays that will know. So just expecting something like that to happen. Who knows? Hopefully it's better. And obviously there are a bunch of stuff which we haven't talked about in this episode itself, which has happened in 2020. There's one topic which we are planning on talking about in the near future, just planning it out properly and stuff because we want to do it justice. So hopefully you have seen also the previous episode in which we talked about the Shote Sajjad, their story, and we went through their timeline itself. So hopefully you got something out of that. If not, it's a video which you can put on the background while you cook or while you draw or while you do something, in which you can just listen to it on the side. You don't have to watch that. But other than that, is there anything the two of you would like to say before we finish off this episode?
Not really. I think I just want to kind of reiterate like what Aman was saying as well, that how we're speaking from a very privileged perspective and how our experience, and just to kind of recognize the fact that not everyone had it as easy as us, I guess. And
everyone had different experiences. Who are we to say who had it easier, who had it harder? Each individual is different, and every person had it to a different extent. And it is important to acknowledge that. Well, obviously a specific point of view, maybe we said something which you're like, I didn't like that a lot, but then that's cool, that's up to you. Let me know in the comment section if that's how you feel. Let me know if you're happy to share with us some of your favorite or least favorite moments from 2020. And Aman, is there anything you'd like to say?
I think, just adding on to that, like, definitely I know for some, like, we've discussed a lot of things lessons we learned or, things we did. And I understand for some people, they didn't end up doing anything or they weren't able to achieve anything because they weren't feeling motivated or inspired to create or, change up anything. So that's totally fine as well. 2021's a new year and a new horizon for everyone. So, I think it's, time to look forward, but also be present in the positive moments. And let's just hope 2021's awesome. That's a great way to end it. Let's hope 2021 is awesome. So thank you so much for joining in on this episode of Voice of Youth. This is the final episode for 2020. I hope you have enjoyed the season so far. We are not stopping at the start of 2021. We have more episodes planned and more things to get into. So thank you to our two guests, Aman and Updesh. And until next time, I'd like to laugh at there for the last time for 2020. Bye.